we are not going to be on for very long. I'm going to do some explaining, and then we are going to get started with our work today. So my remote friends, you'll have work to do independently for today. All right, so here we go. Actually, I'm going to start with, let me exit that. I'm going to start with my dock camera. All right, so yesterday for our gist, today you're going to be writing a gist for the story that I'm going to read you, and then you're going to have it for your assessment today. But I wanted to just to review a little bit about our gist yesterday for Ada Twist Scientist. Was that a fun story? Did people enjoy that? It was kind of cute, wasn't it? So it doesn't necessarily exactly go with our overcoming learning challenges, but she certainly wanted to learn, didn't she? She wanted to learn a lot of things. So let's just look about, so Mrs. Alvin and I took your papers home, and I looked at your ones online from your Google form, and you guys pretty much did a good job. So who was our somebody? Who was our main character? So a lot of you just put Ada, that's fine, but I went ahead and put her whole name, Ada Marie Twist. You didn't have to have all of that. And then the setting was kind of hard but most of it was at her house, wasn't it? But there was a little bit that was also at school. So if you,
Mr. Pearson, a couple of my kids forgot what setting meant.
Okay. So remember, setting is where the story takes place. So this, on our other ones, we had Afghanistan for Nazarene Secret School. We had Chad. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a country, does it? A lot of the other ones, we had a country involved. We had Colombia, we had Chad, or we had Afghanistan. This particular one, they didn't tell us what country it was in. Could have been United States, right? But we know that the place that most of the story took place, where the location was her home, and then there was a little bit at school in class. So what did Ada want? Well, she wanted to know the answers to all of her questions. She had a lot of questions, and she wanted to know the answers of all of them. And sometimes, what did that happen? Sometimes the challenge was she got into trouble, right? Did she get into trouble for sometimes trying to answer her questions? She sure did. And because she tried to find out the answers all by herself, right? So what happened? What was the solution to the problem? Here was our problem. She wanted to answer all of her questions, but she was getting into trouble. But her parents, so it ended up in the end, what did her parents decide to do? It actually was her parents that helped her out. Elena?
The parents decided to help me to answer the questions while still being
curious. Yes, so Elena's got it. Her parents decided to help her answer all those questions, that they needed to support her in that, and that way she wouldn't get into trouble, right? So she still got to be curious, but she wasn't going to put the cat in the washing machine, right? That's not safe for the cat, for sure, right? So it's kind of silly. But her parents are the one that helped her solve her problem. So if you had some answers that were similar to that, you were on the right track. And today we are going to be doing a story. I'm going to go back to here. So we're going to find another story that's about learning challenges and overcoming those challenges near and far. So this story does take place far away. Our learning target today is I can read closely to answer questions about a text. So Mrs. Auden, your computer is sitting on some of my anchor charts. So what I was hoping you'd be able to do in your free time, I have a bunch of magnets at the bottom of my dry erase. If you could put them up kind of across there.
Can I show them to the kids?
Yeah, well, I'm going to show them this version of each of one of them, so that everybody can have what they need. All right, so I can read closely to answer questions about a test. So in other words, we're going to be close readers today. I'm going to go ahead and let's look at what close readers do today. Close readers read small chunks of text slowly and think about the gist. So today I am going to read you the story out loud, but you have a form of it in front of you. And my friends that are on the computer, I have included a PDF and a movie where I read it out loud, but I'm also going to read it now, and I'm going to show it under the doc camera. But we're going to read it slowly and think. Are you going to be drivers today and you're reading? Yes. Are you just going to be a passenger? No. As you're going to drive. You're going to be a reader that's driving. You're going to think about, where's the story going? You're going to be looking for clues. You're going to be asking questions. You're going to be inferring all the time. All right. So then as you're going through, if you get to some words you don't know, you can write on this. So you can circle some words and go back and see if you can figure them out. Some of the words are going to be in bold. Those bold words are some words they're going to ask some questions about in the questions later on in the test. Okay, so strategies for figuring out words you don't know. Reading around the context, read the sentence around the word, and you can sometimes figure out what it means that way. You can look at the prefix and the suffix and the root word and see how those, if it starts with the letters un, if I'm untying my shoe, what does that tell? What does untie mean? What does the un in untie going to mean, Sonny? It means what? Untie my shoe? What does the un part mean? It doesn't mean now. Un means if I tie my shoe, but I untie my shoe.
She's thinking of the suffix ing.
The ing part?
Yeah.
Untying. So I am doing it currently. Yes, you are correct. Yep. So ed is our past tense, right? So you got it. Sorry, Sunny, I was misinterpreting. All right, Marin. Already did it. Untie. Okay, well, not quite. So untie. So my shoe's tied. Okay, I'm not wearing shoes with actual ties today. But if I tie it, I untie it, what is happening? Allie, can you help her out? Oh, okay, so you're using the un as your definition. Okay, so it makes it hard, right, to say what un means if it's un.
So after a long hike, I can't wait to untie my hiking boots and get my feet out of them. I'm gonna untie them and take off my boots.
So I tied that, and you tied them before you went, and you're gonna untie them. So what do you think, Paxton? What is the un part? Okay, so are my shoes tied anymore?
No.
So the untie, Elena?
You do the opposite of doing it.
The opposite, right? So I tied it, I untie it, it's no longer tied, right? It's kind of, un means like not, okay? All right, so we're gonna break down words and look at what they mean. We're gonna look at the root word. We know what tie means, so that can help us figure out what untie means. And the last idea is use a dictionary. Today, my friends at home, you are gonna need your dictionary that we gave you in your materials. So you're gonna need that dictionary. Everybody here is gonna use their dictionary. You don't have it now, but you're gonna go back to your room and you're gonna have one there. So one of the things that we talked about is to be able to explicitly answer questions in the text. Go back to the text and put your finger on it. And so you have the text. So today as you're reading, when you're trying to find your answer, you're gonna go back and you're gonna put your finger on the answer, and that's gonna help you with your answers, okay? All right, so these are things close readers are going to do. So part of what we're going to do today is I'm going to read you the story, and then you're going to use the information in the story to answer some questions and to write the gist. All right? When you are answering the questions, these are our strategies that we practiced. Did we practice these together? Several times. We did at least twice. Read the question very carefully. Make sure that, so Mrs. Aubin and I are so sad sometimes when we grade our test and we're like, oh, they didn't read slowly, because if you just read it quickly, sometimes you misinterpret what the question's asking. So read it slowly and carefully. When you're done reading the question, try to cover the answers and think about what you think the answer is first before you read your choices. Then, when you're reading your choices, read all of the answers. Don't just read, like if you think it's the first one, make sure you still read the rest of them to make sure, because sometimes there's a better answer that might be farther along. So read all the answers and find the one that matches your thinking. And then you can go back to the text and find in the text where that answer might be and put your finger on it. And then as you're trying to decide, you can cross out. Did we cross out the ones that didn't make any sense yesterday when we went through some questions? Crossed them out so that you can have, now I wouldn't scratch them out, friends. All right. So a lot of times kids go and scratch it all out because they think that's not the answer. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute. I didn't read my question very carefully. Maybe that is my answer. But if it's all hard to read now because you crossed it out. So just when you cross it out, you don't have to make a big deal about it. Just one line through it so you can still read it later if you decide to change your mind. All right. So those are our strategies for making some choices today, because you're going to have some select response questions to look at. All right. Let's see. I just got to exit out of here so we can see my, there we are. Okay. So we're going to go to my doc camera now. So you are going to listen carefully. I'm going to make this a little bigger for my friends. My friends who are in the classroom, you need to have your eyes on the text, perhaps even following along with your finger. My friends at home, again, you have this on your assignment today, so you can refer to it as many times as you want. And you can also listen to me read it together, read it again on a video and this video. All right, so we're going to listen to the directions. It says, in this assessment, you will read a new story about a very unusual library. Read the text carefully and answer the questions that follow. So there is a Google form for my friends at home. You're going to, I'll show it to you, but you're going to answer the questions on a Google form. My friends who are in the classroom, you have them on paper. You're going to answer, they're included in your little packet. Okay? All right, here we go. Elephant library. Everybody ready? Looking for eyes on the text. Ready to go. I can see several people who are ready because their fingers are ready. They're pointing along. Excellent. Here we go. I woke up very early this morning. Even the pitter-patter of the rain couldn't dampen my excitement. I had been counting the days. Soon, the elephant team would arrive soon with more books. I really hoped it would be today. My family and I live in a very small village in the mountains. The only way to get here is by foot, up steep mountain trails. It can be quite dangerous. During the rainy season, the ground is slippery and there are mudslides. We don't have a school or a library, but we are fortunate because a team of elephants brings us books. The team stays here for 2 or 3 days to teach us reading and writing on metal slates. My sister and I look forward to them coming because we both love to read and learn. Doing a pause to make sure everybody sees where we are. The morning dragged by painfully slowly. By mid-afternoon, I started to think they were not going to arrive today after all. I was disappointed and snapped disagreeably at my sister when she tried to ask me a question. Perhaps they will come tomorrow, Mom said, sensing the cause of my short temper and bad mood. I had just about given up all hope when I heard a shout in the distance. When the elephant team arrives, the first person in the village to see them coming up the mountain always shouts. This quickly becomes a din as we all shout with excitement and run to greet them. All of my friends here are going to the second page. Again, my friends at home, this is something you can see on the assignments and pull up and have to reread. All right. Looking for my friends. Here we go. I ran out, hoping to see the elephants arriving. There were no elephants to be seen. The word spread quickly. The elephants were having trouble getting up the last steep trail on the slippery mud. My heart sank. Would they go on without stopping for us? My brain was working quickly. I wanted those books. The elephants couldn't get to us, but perhaps we could make it down to the elephants. I suggested the idea and everyone agreed. My sister and I and our village friends walked very carefully down the slippery, muddy trail to the elephants. It took us a long time because we had to move slowly not to slip. We were all tired, wet, and muddy when we got there, but it was worth it. The elephant handlers greeted us with big, warm smiles. The elephants lifted their trunks to say hello. They were happy we had worked so hard to see them. My sister and I didn't waste any time choosing books to bring back to the village. I chose one about elephants because we love the library school elephants so much. All right, my friends. So that is the story that you are that we are having today. You should reread any parts that you don't remember well when we're going through some of the questions. So my friends today online, I just want to show you where you're going to go to make sure that you have your Google. Let me put this away here for a second. To have your Google form. Mrs. Harrison got distracted. There's our classwork. Today in our classwork, right here, it says Unit 1 Assessment, Part 1 for Thursday, September 24th, because that's today. Here we go. So if you look inside the assignment, it says participate in the Zoom, then read or listen to the reading of the Elephant Library, fill in the parts of the gist of the story, and answer the questions. So here's my rereading of it. If you need me to reread it again, you can watch that video. You can also look at all of the anchor charts that Mrs. Harrison put up in our slides, how to be a close reader, on all of the strategies we've been using to do the selected response are in there. You also have some images of the story. Here's the first page of the story. You can click on it and read it. And look, I want to show my friends at home. This is super small on my screen. I don't know that Mrs. Harrison would be able to read this, but look right down. When you open it, you're going to be able to increase the size to where it works for you. Okay, so don't go, I can't possibly read that, Mrs. Harrison. Use that plus and that minus and zoom it in so you can read it well. Okay, all right. Also, so here is what the Google form is for my friends at home. My friends, here you can turn to that next page where you see the spot for the gist. So Mrs. Harrison filled in that first spot for you because it was hard for students in the past to be able to figure out who the character was. So my friends who are here online, here's my Google form. Look, you like my picture? It's got a picture of the actual elephant library with real kids there. All right. So yeah, it's a real thing. So you're gonna put your name. Then it says, who is the main character of the story? And I only gave you really one choice. So my friends at home, if you all pick that one choice, guess what? You will have the right answer. Then the next thing is, where does the story take place? Where is the setting? You're going to type your answer in here. What does the main character want? Okay, oh, no, this is thinking inside your head. What is the problem though? And how do they overcome it? So you're going to type your answers in there. And then there are some multiple choice or selected response questions where you're going to make a choice. And this one here asks you to look in the dictionary. It says use a dictionary and write the definition in your own words. So today you're going to use the dictionary we gave you to come up with that answer. All right. And then when you're all done with the the test, you're going to go back and reread and make sure you picked exactly what you wanted. And then you're going to click submit. My friends who are here, you are going to finish the gist and then answer the multiple choice questions. You're going to cross out whatever you need and circle whatever you need. All right. And be able to do our assessment for today. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what they need to accomplish today? Let me see my friends at home. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good about, if you know what to do today? All right, Isabella, are you feeling good about that? All right, you're gonna go answer the Google form. Robert, how you feeling, buddy? Robert, do you know what you're gonna go do now? Great, excellent. All right, Haley's looking good. Claire's looking good. Gavin's looking good. Ben's got a happy face on there. Logan, I think you had your hand up. Are you good? I mean, your thumb up. Are you good? And Jensen, are you good? Do you know what to do, Jensen? Okay. I don't see anybody else, Mrs. Harris or Mrs. Oven, with a question mark. Okay, so my friends at home, you're gonna go reread the story and go to your Google form, use your dictionary, and answer the questions.
And remind Gavin to meet me at 11:05.
Gavin, remember to meet her at 11:05. All right? Okay, my friends. I'll see you later. All right. Maybe not. No, I missed it.
On there on the big driveway.